Voters in Virginia will head to the polls tomorrow to pick the Democratic nominee for governor. 5 candidates are vying for the nomination. The winner will face off against Republican nominee Glenn Youngkin. Yesterday on CBSN, my colleague Lana Zach spoke with candidate Lee Carter. He calls himself a socialist, and Lana asked him about that label.
I've always operated under the assumption that if you're to the left of Barry Goldwater, they're going to call you Joseph Stalin. So, the thing about being in Democratic politics is you have to understand that attack is coming anyway, right? So you might as well just own the label and talk about what it actually means. And what it means, from my perspective, is that I'm going to fight to make sure that you don't just have a job working for someone else, that you have ownership and control over your workplace and ownership and control over your own economic destiny.
I want to bring in one of the other candidates in the race, Virginia State Senator Jennifer McClellan. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. So Virginia voters have had quite a crop to choose from, including someone who already had the job once before. Former Governor Terry McAuliffe is also running. He's leading by double digits right now. During a recent debate, you said voters need a candidate who will excite and expand the base. What did you mean by that, and why do you think you're the candidate to do it?
Well, we know that when turnout is low, that the process doesn't work as well. Democrats are not as likely to win. So when we've had a candidate who can excite and expand the base, Democrats win. When we haven't, we've lost. And so I'm the right candidate because I bring a new perspective, the next generation of leadership, but the experience doing the work to solve Virginians' problems. And we've seen excitement all over Virginia.
One thing about you in terms of your track record when it comes to equity and equality, you talk the talk and you walk the walk. It's something that you've been fighting for a lot in the state Senate in different areas. I want to ask you about voting legislation. Since on the federal level, West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin announced that he would vote against his party's voting bill, which is called the For the People Act. You've backed voting bills in your time in the state legislature. In light of the news from Senator Manchin, what do you think states need to be doing on this issue?
We have got to make sure every state enshrines the principles of the Voting Rights Act, which I was proud to do here in Virginia with the Voting Rights Act of Virginia that will end voter suppression, intimidation, and discrimination, because we can't count on the federal government to do that since the Voting Rights Act federally was gutted. So that battle is coming to the states. And it is a battle that is personal to me. I've had family members, my great-grandfather had to take a literacy test and find 3 white people to vouch for him to be able to vote. My father, my grandfather paid poll taxes. This is personal, and we have to make sure, our vote is our power, which is why it is important that everyone have the right to vote.
I want to ask you about another issue. You've touted your universal child care proposal as really important. Tell us more about that plan.
Yeah, we have seen that child care and early childhood learning is foundational to both an education system and parents getting to work. But before COVID, it was too expensive and not accessible. And now COVID's decimated the industry. So my plan would make sure that we stabilize and grow the child care industry, invest in it, and that no family pays more than 7% of their income for it. And you can find the full details on my website at jennifermcclellan.com.
If you are elected, you could become the nation's first Black female governor. Has that possibility impacted your campaign at all?
I mean, it has. It is something I am tremendously proud of. I think about, again, in my own family and so many people who fought and in some cases died for the right for me just to be able to vote, let alone run for office. And I know I stand on their shoulders. I am my ancestors' wildest dreams. But I also know that little girls of color, and my daughter in particular, are looking to see if they really can be whatever they want, regardless of the color of their skin or their gender. And this race has proven that we can.
If you get the Democratic nomination, if you become the nominee, you will be running against the Republican who is a multimillionaire who it appears has really sort of leaned into some of these culture war issues. The race there has been receiving a lot of attention. People see Virginia as a sort of a bellwether state when it comes to this race. So I want to get your take on that. Do you think that what eventually unfolds in Virginia will sort of indicate to us what we might see across the country?
Well, it's been that way in the past. We predicted the rise of the Tea Party. Our 2009 election predicted what was going to happen in 2010. Virginia has led the way for a lot of years, and I do think this is going to be a bellwether for the rest of the nation. And people are tired of the politics of division. They want candidates, and they want a party that is going to focus on them, solve their problems, and give them hope again. And I think that's what you're seeing here in Virginia.
Mm-hmm. And so the Republican nominee, Glenn Youngkin, he's raised a ton of money. Most of it is his own money that he's lent to his own campaign, millions and millions of dollars. How would you get over that fundraising hump?
Well, first of all, the candidate with the most money doesn't always win. It's the candidate who can excite and expand the voters and the base of voters and encourage people to come out to vote. Grassroots is very important to that, but the money will come. I mean, there are lots of examples of years where the money flows in, but what's more important is what you do with that. And frankly, if anybody knows how to do more with less, it's a working Black mom. So I am undaunted by how much money he can raise. We are going to leave no corner of Virginia behind and get people out to vote.
Well, Jennifer McClellan, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And we should note to everyone that we welcome all candidates in the Virginia governor's race to join us to speak here on CBSN AM. But we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks. Have a great day.